the 1,000, 2,000 blinds play money, and the 250K bounty play money. I was involved in a hand, so here's what we had. So at E7, so I won with that. Lost with queens. He bluffed. He showed me he had a deuce there. So I folded to a nice bluff. And then this hand I luckily came out with a split pot, but I started with 200K before that, so I lost 70K that hand basically. So I started the day with something like 90K and worked my way up to 900K or something like that. Play money. But played in a 50K tournament. You could watch it. It's a couple videos below this. It's the final table or whatever. The episode is right before this. So a couple before that would be the beginning of the tournament. Hoping to win with the queen higher. He had ace-9, okay. So on PokerStars, they give you 15,000 chips every 4 hours if you get it. So this is the 1,000, 2,000 chip table. So either these players are better than average poker players on PokerStars, Ontario, or they buy their play money chips. So he likely has the king, but I want to see one more card. And I would like to muck, but it's not an option on PokerStars. That was unfortunate. He snap called too with his 8. Pair of 8s with 7 kicker. Snap called it. He had a dynamite read on me for how inactive I've been playing. he happened to be right that time, but if you're new to poker, like, it's only play money, right? But at the cash table, don't snap call the guy so fast unless if you have some playing history with him, then that's one thing. But I've been playing pretty tight, so it's not like I was aggressive at the table. So if I was aggressive at the table, then the snap call maybe would have been justified, right? But I easily could have had an overpair because it was a 9-high board, so it's quite possible that people have tens, jacks, queens, kings, aces, right? So maybe you'd want to snap call if you had a set or 2 pair, but not sometimes with 8-7. If you have the guy on ace jack or ace king, something like that. But you have to have a read on the person. If you do it all the time, if you're always calm with 8-7 there, you're going to be a losing player. So judge based on your personal results, right? Like if you're almost always right, then continue making those calls because you're tuned in. But if you're not right often, if you're losing, then that's a weakness in your game. You could shore up the ranks basically by plugging that hole, by just not making those calls basically. When I first started playing poker, when I came first out of 8,000, I was such a strict poker player. I only played premium aces and just near certainties, right? And but it made me a really, really good poker player. But at the same time, I'm a better poker player now than I was then. Like, because artificial intelligence gets better every day, right? So there was a period where I watched for about 2 years. I watched how the pros played basically, and while I was playing online poker at the same time, so I was kind of developing a strategy, and while I was watching, all I did during COVID was everybody was isolated, right? So all I did was play poker, watch poker for a couple years, and so I learned all the strategy from the announcers, and then watching the gameplay, the techniques from the pros. So I kind of came up with a system to beat the pros. So then I started playing for real money on PokerStars, and within a week I won a tournament. There was 1,500 players, and I won within a week. And I thought to myself, as if it was this easy, because I haven't played in like online. I didn't play for like 10 years at this point, and it was like I didn't miss a beat at all, and just dominated right where I left off basically. But then the Ontario government changed the rules, or the Canadian government did. But so now I can only compete against people in Ontario, which is kind of handicaps my growth as a poker player, basically. Because instead of me competing against, no, the flush came through most likely. What did he have? Queen 10. Whereas Brazil's a really good country. Lots of good players there. Germany, the United Kingdom, France is pretty good. I don't know about Spain, how Spain's doing, but they're into poker. Mexico, I think they're pretty into. Argentina's into poker, right? So the United States is into poker, but their government's not allowing them to play poker, so for real money. So it kind of it hinders the world poker economy, basically. Because America's a rich country, so they, and their dollar's worth a lot, so when you win in American money, being a Canadian, it's more advantageous, right? If I win $1 million American, it's going to be like 1.3 million Canadian, right? So, or something like that. So if you're one of those Americans that want to flee the country if Trump gets reelected, just think your $1 million goes a lot further in Canada. And it's basically the same. Okay, I guess I got a call. I don't like it. It's pretty same culture, right? Like, we're heavily influenced by the American media, so it's pretty, like, a lot of Canadians watch CNN and Fox News and primetime American programming, so we're very similar. Just the weather's different. We don't have California. What about this? How about the jack? Nice, the jack didn't come. Or the spade. I won with aces. At least, play money or not, at least I won with aces. That's the favorite. Which you should be. But not always, because sometimes if you go all in on the flop with aces, you could be an underdog. Pre-flop, you're the favorite, or tied for a favorite. This is how suspicious my life is. I watched on YouTube. I wonder, I don't know if it was YouTube or Facebook. I think it was Facebook. But so I wouldn't have it. But if it was YouTube, I would have the history of it that I could show you. Oh, I should have taken a screenshot. That would have been great. But anyways, the long and short of it is I seen a hand on YouTube or Facebook, and it was aces versus kings. And then within 2 days, I was in that hand. I experienced that hand. I had kings versus aces. Suspiciously enough, after watching that video. Within 2 days, a day or two anyways. Show the grids. Yeah, it was unfortunate I lost to the straight there, but hopefully I can recover right here. When I play two tables, I'm hoping to win as many hands at both tables as possible. So I won one hand here, so now I'm hoping to win a hand at this table, and my record's 8. I've been trying this for like the last couple days, so I won 8 hands, so far it's 2. So I gotta play this garbage if I want to keep the streak going. Three, 4, Oh, no. I'm going to call. Keep the streak going here. I'm going to get in this pot, too. Because the streak's going here. I don't want to lose more chips than... Okay, I think it's so unlikely that he hit that flop, so I'm going to see. Might have the king, though. Nice bet. Nice bet. He must have the 6. 6-10. And with these, I was going to jam on the turn. I'm glad I didn't, because I would have got rivered. And the only reason why I didn't jam is because I knew I was going to get rivered, likely. Likely to get rivered anyways. So that was the end of the run. 4 hands. Call. Nice. Nice. Nine queen. I was kind of hoping he was on a flush draw. I didn't want to overcommit on the bluff that time, so. He's gonna hit it. He didn't hit it. Got a bounty. He didn't hit the 10-4. $277 here. $30.07. It's important that you go to www.change.org/technology. If you believe you got private thoughts, you need to sign the petition and share it as many times as you can to make it go viral on social media to privatize your thoughts, because we need computer software to protect our thoughts, basically, because we're made up of water. Water conducts electricity, so therefore we can be hacked. Like, you should know this if you've ever been shocked before. So So our brain is, we think in hertz, just like a television signal. So when the cathode ray to EV came out with that technology, scientists were able to unequivocally look at your thoughts at that point. And that was in the early 1950s, right? And I was born in 77. So my life has been completely orchestrated my entire life. I had choices, don't get me wrong. I have choices, but barely. Been looking for a job in 3 different cities, but so the only choice I had is to decide which city I wanted to live in. But where I end up getting a place is decided by the government secretly and their collaborators. So all my past, wherever I lived in the past, and whatever job places I worked in the past, likely some people in the company likely knew about me. They have satellites tracking me. And all they do is, it's such a trivial system. So they hack my eyes basically to look at subliminal metrics on the ground, and they're not causing the physical changes as much. Like occasionally within the last 30 videos, you'll hear me mention how I'm playing poker and they just made me blush. It's because they tried to set me up for some sort of kid con probably. And 4-9, I can't call that. And then there's another video where it's like, oh wow, they're making me drool out of the left side of my mouth only, or the right side. So all I do is document, right? And every day all they do is rewrite their profiling software for me. They killed hundreds of thousands of people based on certain metrics, based on where they walk. And I'm not a predator, so I never hit those metrics unless I'm hacked to. So they changed the law secretly to now track where I look and where other people look while their eyes are being hacked as well. So they had to murder a bunch of people to create a precedent to be able to track and justify legislation against me. And that's right, murder. Like, these are just people going about their lives that were just walking down the sidewalk, and somebody aware of the system was able to hack their eyes and cause them to step on a certain subliminal metric enough times to get registered in the system, and then they're a victim at that point. Then they're violated. So if they're married, and every time they have sex with their wife or husband at that point, there's going to be electronic rapists that are able to physically feel what they feel. And every single orgasm I had in my life was people participated with me against my will, unless I voluntarily did it in person. And as a kid, one of my first showers, I remember feeling that I was being watched. And it turned out that I was. They showed me an image of my mom, the picture of my mom basically in my mind's eye of when she was in the plane, when she was pregnant with me in the plane and by the window seat, and I could tell it's a sunny day in the picture. Oh, I'm gonna. There's an hour left in the registration here, and I got enough, and it's only play money, so I am gonna gamble. I'm hoping nobody else calls, or I get some fortuitous bounce. I'm hoping to be in a flip, basically, and win. I'm so overdue to win. Kings, no, I'm not in a flip. I did win with aces versus jacks, so I can't complain. But other than that, the last 3-4 days, I rarely call with pairs pre-flop. But whenever I do call pre-flop, I usually have at least a pair. And I've ran into over pairs like 4 or 5 times, and I rarely do it. Like, I must have played 2,000 hands in the last several days with tournaments and stuff like that. Maybe, well, I guess so. Maybe 2,000 hands in the last 3 days. That's realistic. Like, probably 1,500 is a closer estimate. Hundreds of hands, regardless. What did he have? He had 9s. So I might not have gotten more out of him. I'm gonna fold. I think it's a chop pot or a lose, so hopefully the next guy calls. So it was a chop pot. So one thing I've been mentioning in the last few videos as well is sporadically when they've been hacking my eyes on only for social media and poker, where all of a sudden I won't be able to see how many chips I have or my opponent's chips because they've registered in my eyes the subliminals. I was pretty sure he didn't have the 10 there. I was hoping to get him to fold the 9. I think this guy had a weak week. nice. I'm glad I won that last spot. I was just online. I don't know why it's taken 7 minutes. Not literally 7 minutes, but too long for 2024. It's not like it was connecting through a dial-up modem. If you're young, like 18 or older, ideally, you're the people watching these videos, but because poker's an adult sport. Granted, well, it's a cognitive sport, so really you should learn it with your family at a young age. Like, I'm planning on having more kids, and I plan on teaching them as young as possible how to play poker. Teach them math, probability, psychology, you know, and also teach them about gambling and how it's fun. You only risk what you could afford to lose, and you're willing to go without. Like, I would never risk my rent money on gambling. I'd never borrow money to gamble. Inadvertently, I may have borrowed money and ended up gambling, but not specifically to gamble. It would have been for a trivial amount. If I borrowed $200, I might gamble $20 worth. Here we go. I was gonna raise with the king deucer. I was hoping to get a call with the jack too. So I won money in there. Could I win a hand here? I'm trying to beat my record of 8. I think I got 9, but I'm certain that I got 8, so I'm gonna go with 8. For two tables, my record for winning hands at one table is 12, and that was over 10 years ago now. But I always tell this story, but when on the 12th hand I got pocket aces and you could chat, and I'm like, come on guys, I can't have the best hand every time, and I jammed all in and got 3 to 5 callers, and oh no. So I'm probably gonna lose, because but do I lose it all? Do I lose it all right here? Nobody had the straight flush or the full house. So that's one thing I would teach my kids about playing poker, even though I was the near favorite, right? There's potential straight flush. I had the nut flush, and so I was a near favorite. Like, so it's not absolutely guaranteed. So like, that's the beauty about poker is whereas chess, theoretically, if you have 2 chess players that could see every single move that the other player is going to make, then it would result in stalemates more often than victories, because every single move they're going to know how to counter move it. So it's going to be like it'd be this dance that they'd be making. Whereas with poker, there's psychology. Like there is psychology in chess. Like to beat a really strong chess player, you might have to sacrifice 2 pieces just to put him in a position to ensnare him for checkmate, right? So you might have to strategize deeper, right? Like try to think as many moves as deep as possible, because like in chess, what the most underrated piece to me is the horse. I forget what it's called, the knight or whatnot, but it makes the L shape, right? So people don't see the L shape coming, so you could take them out lots with it. It's easier to see the diagonal queen than it is the L shape. So that being said, at the same time in chess, like they're kind of limited with their maneuverability, so they're kind of disposable at the same time, right? They're easily to sacrifice the knight in chess to get a bishop, or to get a rook. I've sacrificed that every time. I did pretty decent. I got fairly hard difficulty on the chess app that I played. I forget. Like at first it was the hardest. The one I posted online was like wasn't that hard. It said hard or something like that. But I played like 3 or 4 levels harder than that, and I've only played maybe under 200, absolutely under 200 chess games in my life. Online, mainly. In person, maybe 20 chess games. Less than that, maybe 15 in person. I like it, but there's no probability. Like there's no psychology. Well, I guess there's a little bit of psychology, right? Because you could sacrifice. So there is that option. I would like to play Go. Learn how to play Go. That's a strategy game that they play in Asia, I believe. And I like a lot of Asian games. I like which cards are an Asian. The Chinese came out with playing cards before the European. They introduced it to the Europeans, so to the rest of the world. So I like Mahjong. It's a pattern recognition game. It's in Chinese characters, so I guess there's that, and then there's Sudoku. I guess it's not that great, so I'll say it, but they should have a Mahjong for Westerners. Basically, Mahjong, but instead of having Chinese characters and symbols, have easier to symbols that are universally recognizable, basically. Because it's such a fun game. It's strategy, right? Like it's a pattern recognition game where you have to match tiles, and but if you take 2 tiles off the top row, you might prevent yourself from getting a tile from the middle row. So you have to have some strategy in how you remove the tiles to beat the puzzle, right? So it's kind of cool that way. And then Sudoku is a game that you could play for 1,000 years, a new puzzle every day for 1,000 years. So it's awesome. But unfortunately, when right now they water down my intellect. But when my intellect isn't watered down, some of these really, really hard Sudoku puzzles, I could beat them almost as fast as I'd be able to write in the numbers, right? So it isn't fun anymore. So even though I love Sudoku, I could play Sudoku for easily every day. I could play it really hard. I could commit an hour and a half to playing Sudoku every day. I love it that much. It's such a fun game. I just love the math aspect of it. But there's no money in Sudoku. There's money in poker, so I play poker. And there's no psychology, right? And you're kind of just competing against yourself, which is fun, right? But I like competing against people, and there's the chance element, right? So you could, if you're the underdog, you have luck to bail you out sometimes, and if you're the favorite, you have skill to win most of the time. And all you could do is just make sound mathematical decisions. Learn about, if you're new to poker, learn about pot odds and outs. That's important. Because once you figure out how many outs you have, like right now, to most people, they would say I would have 6 outs because there would be the 3 sixes and the 3 kings. But I would only view it as I have 3 outs because I only have the 3 kings that would be top pair. A pair of sixes are unlikely to be the winning hand, so I wouldn't even count it. So I'm kind of conservative when it comes to outs compared to, I pretty much always have 3 less outs than what the pros would be going by, because I'm not going to count the bottom. I wouldn't count the jack, chances are, on the flop, if unless it would be top pair as well. But if it would be second pair or third pair, then I don't even count it. Don't even count it. It doesn't even register in my mind. Yeah, I'm only playing after that if I think I could outwit them, or if I don't believe them. So here I would see that I have 10 outs, but really 8, well 9, because if a spade comes it wouldn't be a clean out. Because if a spade came, then there was a potential flush, right? So if I would have made the straight at that point, I would have had second best hand, possibly a fourth best hand, right? Because there was a potential 4 of a kind, full house. Then there would have been a potential flush. Then I would have had a straight. So so the strength of your hand diminishes, right? So the size of the bet you're willing to call has to diminish. Sometimes, not all the time, because if it's all the time, if you're folding straights all the time, then you're going to be a victim in poker. You're going to be victimized at the table. But at the same time, if you don't fold straights, you're not going to be a winning player. So you have to be able to fold straights and full houses, flushes, and consistently, because you're consistently going to run into bigger hands.
Time, went down and checked out the fucking poker. It's fucking busy there. There's gotta be like 30 tables packed, and there's still people waiting.
Really?
Yeah. I just fucking went and walked around, grabbed the coffee. I found like $6.25 in vouchers. Put in like 30-cent machines. Maybe if I get lucky.
Oh, just people left at the vouchers around?
Yeah, but you don't walk up to the machine. You just walk around, check people out. You don't just do it nonchalant. You can't be fucking heat scored and fucking start tapping every machine and fucking taking out the thing. You got to do it nonchalant. And you're sitting down ready to put money in. You just draw out the fucking ticket and walk away.
Yeah.
When you start fucking beat it.
Yeah.
See why there's some of those guys go in there all dirty and fucking scruffy beards? Well, why are you kicking me out? Well, you're not playing for one, and that's they already know that you're accustomed to doing that. That's why they look out for you and they kick you out, right?
Yeah, I don't know if you heard that, but he was talking about at the casino. Basically, when you're at the casino, you have to assume that you're under constant surveillance. That every single move that you make is being scrutinized. And it makes sense because people cheat. And I don't know why they cheat at poker, really, because other than just for glory, I guess. Because why wouldn't you cheat at the stock market when you could make billions of dollars? In poker, you can make millions of dollars. So it's not even the big time. Like, the most successful poker player ever has only made $64 or $69 million. That's nothing. That can't even buy you a yacht. And that's years. In April 26th, I have proof in I showed it in other videos. I'm not going to show it this time again, but how I looked at a stock on April 26th and I thought it was pretty good, but I wanted to check it out to see if it would go down, and it did, and I predicted that it would go up, and it did. So if I had $1 million, I would have made $236,000 cash. $1 billion, I would have made $236 million in 2 months. In a decision that I made in 5 minutes. So stocks is where the money is, right? If you want to get rich long term, then invest in an index fund consistently. But if since you're watching this poker video, you're probably like a little bit of risk, so it's dabbling in day trading. Oh, look at this. This is terrible. Do I lose though? 0%, okay, but when they're calling us 0%, I don't mind. It just looked too good to be true. I'm just so used to being disappointed. It looked too good to be true that it's like, how could I win? How could I have a flush with a straight flush redraw and not lose? But I love poker the best because the psychology. I'd love to get more casino experience, but it's likely just as rigged as online poker. Well, I know it is. They kind of showed me a dealer in my mind's eye that I seen once, and how he's able to see the cards and show players the cards. So it makes it so I'll probably never invest a cent. Well, if I do, it'll be a trivial amount, like $100. They might get $100 out of me a couple times a year. wasn't rigged, I'd be spending as much of my weekend time as possible at the casino making money. It starts at 12. I'd easily spend 12 till 8 every day at the casino. And I'd be tipping the dealers when I had big hands that paid off. I wouldn't be tipping them if I manufacture RBIs. If I make the hands, I'm not going to be tipping. If it's based on my skill, like if I choose to play from early position, I try to steal the pot with a hand like this. Like, this is decent enough. I would tip. But if I play a hand like Jack 4 and I end up flopping a full house and the guy has Ace King and I bust him, I'm not going to be tipping the dealer because the dealer gave me cards that I most likely would have folded. It was my intuition and luck that made me decide to play. Whereas if I have a good hand and I get paid off, then I'm going to tip them generously. Right? Hope it makes sense. Because if 95% of the people or 99% of the people are folding Jack 4 and they never get paid off in that situation, why would I tip the dealer? When that was luck that I wasted luck for most people. So is he on a flush draw? But what about this guy? Okay, that's the guy I'm worried about. So, what does he have? I think this guy has a straight and this guy's on a flush draw. Let's see. So he had the straight. So it's right about straight, but he had a set with the full house redraw. So if you like how I play, consider sponsoring me, endorsing me, or making donations. My PayPal email address is christianerikarnemeyer@gmail.com. While I was saying that, I was trying to simultaneously show me making a swish in basketball unless they move the net with artificial intelligence. Because they're telling me I played a lot of the pros, so a lot of the old pros I would probably have a probably do pretty good against, but it's the new ones that are unknown to me that I would all I could do is uninstall the mods that they recall so they forget all their previous sessions against me. Other than what they watch my YouTube videos. To get electronic rapists, look right there. Tell me, make me king of the world, look right there. I want to play in the spot, but it's a little too steep. And it looks dynamite right now, but it's unlikely that it would be that way by the end of the river. So who has the straight? It's unlikely that somebody has the 2-4. Nice. Got a bounty, and so that's a scenario where if I was at the casino, I play my 3-4, and I bust a guy that made a bad call with A7. I'm not going to tip the dealer. Whereas if I had Ace King or Ace 10 in that situation presented itself, then I would have tipped the dealer. And I'd be pretty generous because I could lose it all the next hand, right? So I'd be once I'm in the profit, I tip him soon as my tips would begin soon as I'm profitable. If I'm just struggling, then to break even, then it's hard to tip. But I guess I would if it's a big hand. I guess I would in the future. But it wouldn't be as big of a tip as it would be if I'm in the profit. I would try to match whatever the table guy was, how generous the guy at the table was. I'd try to match that. If they're tipping $2, then I might tip $5. So at a big, I don't know how big the games are, but if I'm winning 10,000 or 20,000 or 100,000 in a pot, I'm probably going to be tipping the dealer pretty good. It wouldn't be trivial amounts of money. Like, I don't know what's acceptable. I don't want to say something now and all the pros seem cheap. But I would be very generous because it'd be a decision that I made in less than a minute that would have resulted in possibly $1 million, right? So I would think nothing of, $10,000 easily. I don't know what a dealer makes at a casino in Vegas, right? But I'm sure a $10,000 tip a couple times an hour would be pretty awesome. I'm gonna fold. Looks like it's a good fold. Oh no, I would have hit the 8. My luck is atrocious for flips. And I already have losing with 6s to kings under my belt, so this tournament lasts. So did not want to take the chance. When you're new at poker, you don't really have experience, right? So you want to, with strong hands, you want to raise lots like this guy did pre-flop, because there's a couple callers, right? So he is showing that he has a strong hand. So if you don't have a strong hand, you basically want to get at the pot. So this is a nice pot, 20K. And they all had pretty weak hands. The best hand was ace-10. I'm a little disappointed. Let's see how... Okay, there's still 95 people left, that's why. 10,000 average stack. But that's pretty weak. 3 players, and the biggest hand was ace-10, ace-9 versus king-10. That's pretty weak. To go all in with. None of those hands are quality hands to go all in with. Unless you think the guy's making a read. Or making a play on you. And you're making a read on him. None of those hands. The best case scenario, you're in a flip. And especially this hand. This is a dangerous situation, right? The odds of me winning go down with this guy having lots of chips, because he went all in twice with with 2 mediocre hands basically. And so when I do call him or force the situation, will my luck hold up at that point in time, right? And usually it doesn't. But I'll sit back and let him run the table. Hopefully knockouts. Nobody. I want to get some bounties. There's 2 people. One guy I could get a bounty from, so I'm hoping to lock up this bounty. Good thing I'm glad he folded. I would have liked this hand so far. I probably would have... Well, I would have called that bet. So I would have won a fairly decent pot. That's unfortunate. That's the thing, when you waste your luck on hands you don't play right. It happens all the time to people. That's why you got to mix it up. What's this guy doing? I'm glad he folded. Because I want to play for that bounty. So my goal has been to not finish last in a tournament from MeyerDiggins Poker 130 through MeyerDiggins Poker 150. I'm not quite at 150 yet, but so far I've achieved that every time. even when I played, they had these tournaments. They're called NAPT tournaments, and at first, depending on how much, if you could play for $1.50, then if you win the three-handed tournament, you go into a 8-player tournament. I finished 7th in that, so I didn't finish 8th. That was the closest I came to finishing last in a tournament, but I wouldn't count a single table as a tournament. I should have played. He only has 15 chips left. Good thing I didn't. I wouldn't have called that. Jam. Hopefully this guy wins, the guy that just bet. Nice. This is a dynamic hand. Hopefully 3 people get eliminated. So one guy got eliminated. And at least the guy directly to my left has less chips now. Since he's went all in a couple times. Played wrist lots pre-flop. If you're new to poker, once again, you want to take your chances pre-flop, but once you get, when you want to develop as a player, you want to learn how to play after the flop, because that's where pots are won and lost. Because you could get lucky with your king 5. Occasionally you're going to get lucky. want to play. So I mentioned last video how they sporadically hack my eyes, so I can't see how many chips people have. So they've been kind of working on that. Because I'm playing alright. I'm not exactly putting on a poker clinic, so I'm kind of disappointed with that. And I only have 13 blinds, so. So it's too bad I wasn't in that pot. Doesn't look like I would have got much, but would have won. community pot, but I didn't have the chips to risk it. Nobody complained. It looks like it was a good decision. Hopefully this guy wins. To get my violators luck right there. $49%. No. At least it came to that side of the table. That worked out better. Rather than one player having. Is he going to go on tilt? Is this guy going to jam? He jammed. Predictably. If I had ace 2, I would have called. If there was nobody else in the pot. Sometimes they get a good hand right afterwards, but usually they don't. So that guy's, or June, looks like the woman is out of the tournament. Likely after this hand. So what did they have? I can't see, is that 8 deuce or 6 deuce? So yeah, they likely had garbage as predicted. So when you're playing poker and situations like that present themselves, when they lose a big pot, they're likely steaming, so they're likely to make a poor decision right afterwards by going all in, and so punish them for it. Knock them out of the tournament, get the bounty. One step closer towards victory. But sometimes it wouldn't be these. If you're private thought people, you'd be excluded. But these people over here, evil people, they wouldn't be excluded. So sometimes they're gonna have a good hand the next time. Well, I gotta pretty much run with it. Nice. So that basically covered the blinds. So I'm probably going to lose by the river, but I got to go for it. Oh no. Pocket deuces. I was worried about it set. That's unfortunate. So that will be the end of this video. So if you like the way I played, consider sponsoring me, endorse me, making a donation. My PayPal email address is christianerikarnemeyer@gmail.com. It's in the title of the video. And if you believe you got private thoughts, look right there. And go to www.change.org/technology and liberate your mind and free will. Watch the videos. Computer-assisted telepathy is possible. So watch the videos, make an informed decision, sign it, share it multiple times to make it go viral, and contribute money to get it on the agenda in your country. So so we can protect our children and our thoughts. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a great day.